Hello students, today we are going to study the lesson Bringing Up Kari, class 7th. Kari, a 5-month old baby elephant, lives and grows up with his 9-year-old friend and keeper. Kari does not eat much, just about 16 kilograms of delicious twigs a day. Playful and sensitive, Kari saves a boy from drowning. So let's see what happens in the story. So Kari, the elephant, was 5 months old when he was given to me to take care of. So the writer says Kari was a baby elephant, a small elephant which was 5 months old, and he used to take care of him. I was 9 years old and I could reach his back if I stood on tiptoe. He seemed to remain that high for nearly 2 years. We grew together, means growth took together. That is probably why I never found out just how tall he was. He lived in a pavilion. So, you know what is a pavilion? As you know, according to the dictionary, meaning pavilion is a place of residence under a thatched roof which rested on thick tree stumps so that it could not fall in when Kari bumped against the poles as he moved about. So he was kept in the pavilion. He lived there under thatched roof. The roof was made of straws and twigs. It was made of thatch. It was thatched, which rested on thick tree stumps so that it could not fall in when Kari bumped against the poles as he moved about. So, you know how an elephant is? It just moves here and there. One of the first things Kari did was to save the life of a boy. So, the first thing Kari did was he saved the life of a boy. Kari did not eat much, but he nevertheless needed 40 pounds of twigs a day to chew and play with. So, he needs 40 pounds of twigs a day for chewing and playing with them. So, he was very naughty also. Every day I used to take him to the river in the morning for his bath. So, the writer says he used to take him to the riverside for a bath. He would lie down on the sand bank while I rubbed him with the clean sand of the river for an hour. After that, he would lie in the water for a long time. So, what he did? After cleaning him with the sand of the river for an hour, Kari was lying in the water for a long time. On coming out, his skin would be shining like ebony and he would squeal with pleasure. So, when he came out, he used to shine like ebony. Ebony is a wood which is very shiny. It's a brown colored wood. So, the elephant used to squeal. It used to just make a shrieking sound with pleasure as I rubbed water on his back. So he says when water was rubbed on his back, he was to be very happy, he used to shriek, he used to squeal. Then I would take him by the ear because that is the easiest way to lead an elephant. So he used to hold his ear and move forward and leave him on the edge of the jungle while I went into the forest to get some luscious twigs for his dinner. So he used to collect some twigs for his dinner. Twigs are the small branches of the trees. One has to have a very sharp hatchet to cut down these twigs. It takes half an hour to sharpen the hatchet because If a twig is multilated, an elephant will not touch it. So, if it is a multilated means it's a cut in different ways. The twig has been cut in different ways. The elephant will not touch it. It was not an easy job to get twigs and saplings for Kari. Saplings, you understand? Small plants. I had to climb all kinds of trees to get the most delicate and tender twigs. So, he used to get the very delicate twigs for Kari. As he was very fond of the young branches of the banyan tree, which grows like a cathedral of leaves and branches. So, he was very fond of the banyan tree, and the writer used to gather some one spring day in March when I suddenly heard Kari calling to me in the distance. As he was still very young, the call was more like that of a baby than an elephant. I thought somebody was hurting him. So I came down from my tree and ran very fast to edge of the forest where I had left him, but he was not there. So he went and saw that Kari was not there. I looked all over, but I could not find him. He says, I looked all over. He saw that he was not there. I went near the edge of the water and I saw a black something struggling above its surface. Then it rose higher and it was the trunk of my elephant. So when he saw something in water, some kind of black thing was on the surface of the water struggling. It was an elephant's trunk. I thought he was drowning. I was helpless because I could not jump into the water and save the 400 pounds of him, since he was much higher than I. But I saw his back rise above the water, and the moment he caught my eye, he began to trumpet and struggle up to the shore. Then, still trumpeting, he pushed me into the water and I fell into the stream. So, the trumpeting sound was made by Kari, and the writer fell into the stream. I saw a boy lying flat on the bottom of the river. He had not altogether touched bottom but was somewhat afloat. So, a boy was lying on the bottom of the river. I came to the surface of water to take my breath, and there Kari was standing, his feet planted in the bank, and his trunk stretched out like a hand waiting for mine. I dived down again and pulled the body of the drowning boy to the surface, but not being a good swimmer, I could not swim ashore, and slow current was already dragging me down. So, the writer says he was trying to swim, but he was not a good swimmer, and he was unable to pull the boy outside because the slow current was already dragging him down. Means he was just going down. Seeing us drift by in the current, Kari, who was usually slow and ponderous means he was a thinker. He used to think. He was slow, but he was thinking. Suddenly darted down like a hawk. Darted down means he just attacked like a hawk, like an eagle, and came halfway into the water where I saw him stretch out his trunk again. I raised my hand to catch it and it slipped. I found myself going under the water again. But this time I found that the water was not very deep. So I sank to the bottom of the river and doubled my feet under, and then suddenly kicked the river bed and so shot upwards like an arrow. In spite of the fact that I was holding the drowning boy with my hand. As my body rose above the water, I felt a lasso around my neck, like lasso means like a rope around my neck. This frightened me. I thought some water animal was going to swallow me. I heard Kari squealing, and I knew it was his trunk about my neck. He pulled us both ashore. So this is how Kari saved the life of the boy as well as the narrator, the author, with his you know, brave and ponderous nature. So, students, today we'll read up to this paragraph only. Thank you and have a nice day.